Ladies and gents, hey, gather round. It's the show where fun is found. Get set for thrills, loads of power. It's the Beard Bros here this hour. Oh, it's Glenn and Rico's time with the beard so full divine. Tune in, laughs you will devour. Welcome to the Beard Bros Hour.
Hello, everybody. This is the Nerdverse Odyssey podcast coming to you guys live from my basement, aka Section 6. As you can tell, I am not Nico or I am not Hunter. They have been delayed for some things or some life events. Nevertheless, we're here for part 2 of episode 26. And it looks like my laptop is running very slow when we do this, so bear with us. And Glenn looks like he's just glistening right now. And on the glistening note, go ahead, Glenn, introduce yourself.
Howdy, folks. What's going on? Whatever you said, they've been delayed. I harken back to that meme that has Gandalf sitting there talking with Bill, or not Bilbo, Frodo, and he's like, Gandalf, where were you? And he's like, I'm sorry, I was delayed. And then it like harkens back to like this scene at a rave where like Gandalf is sitting there like, yeah, like it's I don't know, whatever you said delayed, that was like the first thing my mind went to. So like, yeah. So yeah, what's up? Without the Far Hat brothers. The Far Hat brothers are very far. Anyways, no.
This is going to be great.
What? Great? What do you mean great?
It's going to be great, yeah. We don't have them to hold us back.
Okay.
We're the bearded brothers.
We can say, wazzle. No, just kidding. I'm not quite sure why I had this in my hand, but it was, I don't know.
I thought it was for...
how was your week, dude?
My week so far has been good. It's been great. As far as life, we got done with band camp with my daughter. They had a showcase on Thursday that they played very well. Unfortunately, the weather, we could not go outside. So we actually had it inside, very informal, but again, the music sounded great. They had, I forgot what song they played, but it's some type of Latin song from somebody.
Okay.
So we were able to see
samba or like a march for like carnival or something like that.
Yeah, very different from last year, which I think a couple of parents mentioned that they're like, yes, this sounds a whole lot better than your traditional whatever band music they were playing last year. So a couple of so
they're like playing the Sousa for like the fourth time.
Because there is. I've been with 5 kids at least. I think Juju, the fourth one, being at different school. Each high school has their own way of doing their bands and playing music. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. There's one school called Freedom. I like their music. Their music is more upbeat, more of the HBCU type of music. I don't know if you're familiar with that. I'm
so familiar. Dude, I was an orchestra nerd back in high school. So like, orchestra nerd, student council nerd, wrestling nerd. Mm-hmm. Anyways, but I was kind of curious. Was it?
Go ahead.
Right. Was that a concert band or was that marching band?
This is going to be the marching band. So their high school has 3 bands. It's marching, symphony, orchestra. I think wind. It's a bunch of band stuff, just more than what I thought band was. I mean, I wasn't a band guy in high school as well. But tremendous opportunities. Juju's she's the captain of the front line. So it's from my understanding, it's not
she's a drum leader?
Not the drum leader, but she's the one
drum major
for the other instruments. So like these, forgive me. It's like xylophones, the sticks.
Percussion?
Yes.
Yeah, percussion. Okay.
So they have it split like that. So it's a tremendous
really
opportunity
cool
for her. So It was great. They had a little barbecue that started off late, but we ate and it was okay. Driving lessons. We're
Okay.
continuing that with my older son Ricky. We actually got him on the
Oh
road.
no.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh no. How'd the first on ramp go?
So the first time we took him driving, it was okay. The second time, I told him, "Say, look, you're gonna drive us. We're gonna run a couple of errands, and then we're gonna drive us to this one grocery store, Food Line." And he was okay. He was a little nervous, apprehensive. I was like, "Look, man, just relax. Just it's smooth. Just stay there. Don't worry about it. It was early enough. Too much traffic. But he did kind of scare his mom that was in the back, in the van, because he took a left turn and he took it so quick, and I'm here like, slow down, Ricky, slow down, slow down, slow down, and I'm like, oh my god, yeah. So, all I hear my wife in the background
Yo,
going,
Ricky, just send it.
but I mean, all I hear is my wife in the background going, she like goes this way. So I'm trying to be calm. I'm like, Danielle, I need you to just calm down. Ricky, you're doing okay. You just took it too slow. You took it too fast, and then go. And it kind of weighed on him a little bit because we're in the store and he just looks kind of down. I'm like, what's wrong? He's like, I was just thinking about how I was driving. I took that left turn. I was like, dude, like, look, that's what it is. You're only gonna get so much driving in a parking lot. We got to get you on the road and do this stuff. You just got to make sure you listen and not try to
Yeah.
be so, apprehensive. Because again, for me, when I drove in high school, it was just, hey, get in the car, and the coach, I don't know about for you, our coach, one of our coaches was the driver ed teacher, so he literally would lay his chair
Right.
back and just say, okay, drive. And I'm like, okay, and I'm with two other people, and they're like, okay, cool. And he'll give us some pointers, but most of the time he's like laying back. I swear he'll go to sleep, and then you're just driving some of the country roads near Fort Leonard, and that was that. So
Oh well, it's country roads. That's why. I
yeah.
mean, the worst thing that's going to happen is you're going to hit a deer or a possum, and it's not his car. So what does he care, right?
No. So I mean, for that
That's
one, it's just
nutty.
making him feel okay on that part. Um, that's pretty much on life. Before we get on my life on entertainment, so I'm gonna switch it over to you. What have you done this week for your life, or in your life?
Oh,
Not for your
okay.
life.
In my life, well, since I've been happily waiting for my new job to start up, I'm not starting until later on this month. But
Hmm.
it's basically I have enough in the bank where we're good for now. I
Hmm.
don't have to go on benefits or anything like that. So that's kind of cool.
Hmm.
Um, plus, my mom was like, "Honey, I got you anything you want, anything at all." And I was like, "Okay, Mama, thanks." she, she's been so good about that. But yeah, so now I've had some time to really get into some pretty like drawn out material because I've had all this free time. So I've watched actually the first 6 episodes of Paranoia Agent. It was an anime from 2004, technically a mystery. There's only one season of it,
Hmm.
um, and it starts with this kid who like rolls around on these golden rollerblades and runs around and socks people with this bent baseball bat. And it is so good in terms of like the psychological horror benefit of it.
Uh-huh.
I I'm so glad I'm not downstairs right now because I hear my children yelling. the So for those of you who don't understand where how things are slightly different, I'm actually set up inside my wife's office at the moment
Hmm.
because essentially that's her stuff over there. She's a counselor getting her PhD. So no, the uh, yeah. So my kids were supposed to go to bed at 8:30 to get ready for this new school year, and we started recording at 8. So I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to move upstairs and see what we can
Hmm.
do. And so my wife lovingly allowed me to have the office. But anyways, back to Paranoid Agent. Sorry,
No, you're
chicken
good.
footing. Um, yeah. So um, it's really really good. What what appears to be things as they are aren't always things as the way they are, and it's so good. It's the a lot of the theme is people trying to escape their life situations,
Yeah.
and kind of sitting in a hell of their own making, and then all of a sudden, this character called Shonen Bat, that's what they call him, comes in and whacks them upside the head, and all of a sudden they're like, "Oh man, this is great! I'm finally free because I can be in the hospital and not have to worry about things." Like, it's like, yeah, that happens like 2 or 3 times during. Well, I shouldn't say 2 or 3 times. It happens like every episode. Not to give too much away, but it's been out for 20 years, so there you go. No spoiler, guaranteed. Secondly, I have played. I've basically had the Kingdom Hearts bundle on Steam for a while, since they basically released it for Steam, and I decided that I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna grind it. Let's fucking go. And so I've been playing through Kingdom Hearts 1, and I've made it all the way to the second Riku fight in Hollow Bastion. And son of a bitch, it's so hard. Like, I tried changing abilities. I tried changing items I've had. I've grinded, came back, and like I'm able to get him down to his final green HP bar. But then, like, all of a sudden, he floats up and he's like, "Darkness consume you," and it's like, and basically, starts Goku in my ass. And I'm wondering if it's a skill issue at this point. It's so for a game that's supposed to be, it was intended to be consumed by, well, everybody. Like,
Yeah.
it's not. I don't have it in easy mode. I don't have it in hard mode. I have it in normal ass mode. But it's like, I beat Maleficent, which is supposed to be like the dragon form, which is supposed to be like one of the hardest ones in the whole entire game.
Right.
And that, to tell you the truth, I was able to beat it because of the fact that I hid behind a branch while my buddies in the team kept, getting knocked out and revived and knocked out and revived while they slowly ground her down. And then whenever she had like the last little of health, I was like, ah,
That's the whole point of video games, is trying to find that one thing that the programmers didn't think about or whatever. I mean, I still remember going back to Nintendo with Ninja Turtles, the first one, and there's a part, I think it's with Rocksteady, where if you had Donatello, you could.
That's like the first boss, isn't it?
I think so. I think he's at the first one or the second one. But basically, when you enter into his arena, there's you're on the set of boxes. Well, you can stay there and just kneel down and take your bow staff and just hit him, because all he's gonna do is go to the bottom of the boxes and then every so often jump up. And so you basically just it's people can call it an exploit, but the fact that you figured it out and you're like, okay, one less thing to do. I mean, that's the whole point of video games. But I do understand the frustration if you're like, if you're getting beat on something that you feels like, I am adult. I'm a human man. This is nothing. This shouldn't take me that long.
So the bad thing is that apparently, like, I'm at level 45 now, and most people recommend 55. So I would have to grind like 10 levels in Kingdom Hearts, and I don't even remember what like level set that I took, because apparently it was like depending on some answers that you answered for one of the kids, which I have no idea what I answered back then on the Destiny Islands. You either level up really fast to 40 and then it slows down, or it's even leveling throughout, or you level up to 40 really slowly and then you speed up, and it's like, what do I do? And there's nowhere to look for that inside the settings. So I'm like, crap. So but I mean, it's.
So are you saying that there's some type of self-assessment questions that you take in this game, and that determines how fast or how slow you level up?
Yeah, there is. And whenever you're like on the Destiny Islands, there's some kids that are like, so and so, do you prefer? And then it says like morning, midday, or dusk or something like that. And if you say morning, then you're like, you go all the way up to level 40, and then it slows down. or if you're like midday and then it's like, it goes all the way through. And then if you're like dusk, you go like trog through, 40 levels. And then all of a sudden, once you hit level 40, like it suddenly like, oh, okay, finally I can take off these ankle weights,
Hmm.
and, what was his name? From Naruto, the kid who's had like no ninjutsu,
Rock Lee.
Guy Sensei's Rock Lee. Yeah, Rock Lee taking off the ankle weights, and all of a sudden he's like, all right, to level 100. But yeah, it's rough. But no, it's a great game. At first I was like, I'm fighting with Donald and Goofy. I don't see why people like this so much. And then now I'm like, no, no, Sora, don't surrender to the darkness. I've been so invested in the story now, dude. Like, it's like one day you'll meet her again. It's nutty. Speaking of Disney, though, there's actually been some news as of late coming from D23, which is a Disney fan event. They had released the news that they're making a villains world in Disneyland. Let's see, in Disney, yeah, but essentially they're going to make a Disney villain themed area, which is really cool. And that's probably one of the biggest ones.
That's pretty bold.
Well, okay, Toy Story 5, Incredibles 3, Frozen 3. It's like they're taking all the greatest hits and they're like, you know what? We're going to try to make some more money and stop doing what we've been doing for the past. We're going to lay off Star Wars for a little bit. Well, except for the fact that they have the Skeleton Crew, which I haven't heard anything about, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, I saw the trailer for that.
For which one?
For the Skeleton Crew. Well, the only thing I would add to what you mentioned about D23 would be one. It's kind of a bold for Disney to do the villain world, only because they reported losses of far as generating any money from the theme parks, and I believe they already were shutting some down that were Star Wars related. I don't know if that was the hotel they thought everybody was going to visit or stay in or something, and so for them to build villains world, I guess they're trying to gamble that villains are cool in a sense, because some of us are like that, where if they're relatable, we can get that. As far as the movies, I did see the Star Wars.
Well, I mean, it's kind of spooky, I mean, like if you're able to make like a lot of the villains in the Disney movies have not relatable. They're just, I mean, they're cool. I mean, like, what sort of, if you're aloof and you're sleek and you have a color theme that's likely green and or purple, it's easy to come together with a theme. And so some of the concept art that they have for the area is really nifty, as it's like this twisted landscape with like mountains jutting out and like green fog all over stuff, and like it looks really cool to me.
So no, it sounds
excited
very
about
interesting.
it.
I'm willing to bet. I see where they're going with it. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Again, when it comes to villains and stuff like that, I kind of reminiscing about GI Joe, as far as collecting some of the toys where Cobra had more of the cool looking figures than, as far as G.I. Joe. I know everybody loved Duke and, Snake Eyes was cool, but again, if you go back to at least our generation of G.I. Joes and Cobra had the more, cool looking figures. So for Disney to go, you know what, we're going to take the villains and we've been trying to humanize them, and then we're also going to put them in this thing, and, I'm guaranteed, it's going to be, I think the target audience is going to be kids. I think it's going to be, I feel like it's going to be towards more women, which is great because, again, of course, if the women come, the men will have to take them there, or they'll have to go with them. And I know
Wait,
my
for
wife
the
probably
villains
will like
area?
it.
Are you saying the women are villains?
No. It's just, I guess if you look at the cosplay of it, I mean, some of them, again, they have some cool looking cosplay. And I always feel that when it comes to certain things, if regardless if they're in a relationship or not, if my wife was interested in it, it's one of those things of, okay, well, we'll save up and we'll see how it is on that part. But I mean, it's just like with Comic Con. A lot of the cosplays you see that are really cool are the women. In my viewpoint, are the women. No matter if it's a cosplay of a women character, female character, some type of animal character. I think the investment of some of the women that do it, some of the girls that do it, it's off the charts. So I think that's
Well, I mean,
thinking about it now. I
not to
think it's
mention
really
that,
good.
I much prefer to look at women cosplayers than men cosplayers. That's for sure.
Oh,
That may be a reason why you have a preference there, Rico.
is the creativity? That's what I'm interested in. The backstory.
Creativity. I,
Yes.
I'm, I'm watching it for the plot, the massive bouncy plot.
Oh, that reminds me. I forgot what was it. Ghostbusters. It was something we were watching, and I was joking
The
around. I was like, "Let me try this." Where like a woman passed by, and I think they're in a bathing suit, and they show the whole backside. I was like, "Hold on, something happened." I rewinded like 10 seconds, and I was like, "Crap, I didn't catch it." And then by the third time, I just looked, and my wife was just looking at me like, "Are you really gonna play this game?" I'm like, "Nah, I was just playing around."
so, speaking of, all right, the funny situations with the female figure. All right, so I'm over in Kuwait, right, and it's the night shift, right, and so basically we're there from, sometime in the early evening until the following morning, right,
Mhm.
and because we're doing satellite communications, because that's what satellite communicators do. We got to keep the signal up 24/7, so on and so
Mhm.
forth, because signal never sleeps. So So turn around. We're watching, I think, Game of Thrones or something like that on the big TV that we have inside there, right?
Mhm.
And the first sergeant pops in, and he's like, "Hey guys, battalion commander's coming down to come say hi to you guys. So clean the shit up." And we're like, "Oh, okay."
Mhm.
And so this kid that I worked with pauses the show, and then we proceed to go, start cleaning up. And the first sergeant pops his head back in, just to double check before the battalion commander is basically going to walk in behind him.
Right.
And he's like, "All right, yeah, that looks good. What the fuck is that?" He points at the video screen.
Uh huh.
And I swear to God, Game of Thrones, it's a perfect framed photo of blown up on the screen of Khaleesi boobs, like just tits on the screen.
Oh my god.
And need I mention that my battalion commander at the time was female. so so we're like,
Oh.
"Oh shit!" So we ran over, turned off the TV, and 3 to 5 seconds later, the battalion commander walks in the door,
Right.
and we just like, shoom. It was so
I
close.
I would hate. I can just see it now. Depending on how cool and collected your battalion commander is, if she just pops her head in,
She was
notices it and
great. I
just
mean,
walks
she was a
out.
really good battalion commander, but still, I mean, it would have been like, "Oh, Lucy, you got some explaining to do."
Yeah, like
What the fuck,
I
man?
would hate to be that person that's in front of her desk explaining why there was a pair of boobs on the big
We
screen
were
when she
watching Game
walked
of
in.
Thrones. We paused it, ma'am.
Oh my god! And then your first sergeant just looking at you, and your command sergeant major just looking at you, like
Oh
you.
yeah, they were rolling with him. But luckily, it was just the first that saw the tits on the screen. But it was like, bro, oh my god. Anyway, but yes, I get it. I get the uh uh what was that BB King always said? He was like, "Women give you trouble.
Mhm.
We ain't worth nothing because you always do me wrong," or something like that.
Mhm.
I forget. Anyways, but yeah, that's my week.
Okay.
Let's get on to the meat of the matter. Part two of the Comic Con controversy. Let's give it to the audience,
All right.
because I'm sure y'all are waiting with bated breath and biting your fingernails, just waiting for us to get over the bullshit of, "Oh, I watched the show this week." Just kidding. Um,
Hey, look.
we
For
know you
those who
keep
tune
coming back
in,
for Rico's. Oh, go ahead.
no. For those who tune in, hey, this is what the podcast is about. We're gonna talk about random things. We're gonna talk about things, and then we're gonna segue into something else. We might relate it to our life experiences, but guess
Like
what?
Khaleesi tits,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. Because that's what again. at the end of the day, for Game of Thrones, and I have yet to watch a full season. I think I watched 1 or 2 episodes. It's one of those things where
As do
that is
I.
what's going to attract your target audience. I mean, again, I don't think Disney's villains, the villain world, is going to be like that. I just think that if Disney was choosing
I
this,
mean,
they're not taking a gamble, but they're like, hey, we know what our target audience is going to be. It's going to be, mostly I think
I
Phil,
wouldn't kick
mostly
the evil
women.
queen out of bed for eating cookies. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, just imagine the amount of all the cosplay that will be there from I'm gonna murder the name, but the Maleficence, whatever her name is, from the evil queens to the evil everything.
Maleficent.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, leave me alone. Um,
You know
but
what really, really
go ahead.
ground my gears about the Kingdom Hearts game?
What?
Whenever they explained who Maleficent was, they said, "Oh, she's a witch." That's like she's not a witch. She's a fairy, bro. That's like 10 times worse.
Yeah, I didn't find that out till I think the Angelina Jolie movie she did. I always thought she was a witch, like she was
Well,
an
I
evil
mean,
queen witch.
no, 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 no. She's an evil fairy. And dude, fairy mechanics are that much worse. Like for those of you who may have an interaction with fairies in the future, let me tell you a couple of things not to do. One, never tell them thank you, because apparently that means that they owe you something. Two, don't make any promises that you can't fulfill. In fact, don't promise them anything. And if they promise you something, expect a trick in the process. I'm just going to say fairies are out to eat you, and you should be wary. Don't fuck with fairies.
Mm. Yeah, only fairies I know is the two fairies from Hellboy.
Tooth fairies?
Yes, and they love them teeth.
Oh, God. Yeah.
But speaking of teeth, we're gonna jump right into the root of the matter. San Diego Comic Con that just passed. I think last we left off. Last we left off.
Was that a dad joke?
What?
Was that a dad joke?
What dad joke? If I say something, I have no
dad
idea.
joke.
I just let it go.
Speaking of teeth, we're going to jump to the root of the matter.
No.
I can hear your children in the background just dying.
Oh no. Off the wing, off the cuff.
Dad.
Oh,
Go
shoot.
ahead. Anyways.
No, you're good. Because again, it's funny because the first thing I had as far as the movie, TV show trailers was the Hellboy, the Crooked Man. I don't think we talked about it, recorded for the last episode, but did you get a chance to see the trailer?
No, this is the first time I'm hearing about it.
Yeah, so Hellboy, the Crooked Man is the next movie that they're coming out with. Del Toro's not part of it. It looks like even the cast from the last Hellboy, I think it was the Blood Queen. It's a whole new guy playing Hellboy. I don't know who. I'll be honest with you. I'll put it this way: from the way the trailer looked, I didn't get excited from it. It just looks like it's. I don't know. It's shot. It looks like it was kind of shot from a movie studio that is like a little bit low budget. Like you may see them, you may see their movies on like the Sci-Fi Channel. Kind of be listed in a way. I mean, I'm hoping it does better. This is supposed to be, I think,
it's like Dark Moon Productions back in the 90s, or
yeah.
I mean, A24 is kind of their low budget art film, but I mean, I don't know. Here, I'll look it up and see who it is. Hellboy, the Crooked Man.
Yeah. So with this one, they're following the storyline of the Crooked Man, and it seems like he's sent out. It looks like possibly Europe to investigate what is going on with this Crooked Man, and he recruits unlikely guy that knows about it, or at least the folklore, and is trying to save him as well as a lady that seems to be possessed. Like he comes to collect something, and I don't know if it seems like the Crooked Man is part of Hellboy's past, or at least this is something that is a new foe that he's unaware of, but he may be powerless at least for what you see in the trailer to combat this guy because he's elusive and stuff like that.
Let's see. So Jack Kessie in this, like the makeup, like it looks really, really good.
Okay.
And it looks like, looking at the IMDb intro here, it seems that Mike Mignola, the creator of the comic books, actually had a credit in writing for this one. Like in terms of he actually did part of the screenplay, which is kind of cool. But yeah, like I think they did a really good job at making. I mean, it looks a lot better than the the David Harbour Hellboy.
And that's why when I did the review on that one, and I know Nico watched that one, it was one of the things where it's like, in some scenes he looked great as Hellboy, and then there's some scenes where it looks kind of sloppy, and then the whole dynamic of how it was edited and stuff for the movie was there. I mean, with the trailer, with this new trailer with the Crooked Man, it's more for me. I'll have to see it and weigh in on it, but I mean, the way the trailer is kind of shot and edited, it doesn't feel like a big, not necessarily a big budget movie. Just doesn't feel like the other ones, and maybe that's a little bit bias that I have for watching those ones. So for those who are watching, hey,
I mean, he looks like a young Ron Perlman here, like in the makeup that they have. He looks like Ron Perlman, like with slightly less puffy features, more like Ron Perlman in his normal face than he does with the Hellboy makeup on. If that makes sense.
Yeah, because again, with David, it's especially when he had his hair down, it looked raggedy kind of. But I don't know if they were just more or less of, hey, this is a younger Hellboy that David, who was it, David Haregood played, whatever.
David Harbour.
David Harbour played. So, again, to each his own. Can't wait for the movie. At least, like I said, can't wait for the movie to come out. And again, may go see it at the theaters, may just watch.
David Harbour, he's the Ultimates version of of Hellboy.
Yeah.
The hairier version. Oh, Buddy Bear. Hey, Daddy's recording right now. Hi, this is my son Isaac.
Hey,
get out of here. We are recording now. Wave.
Get hand.
Stop that.
Not your tongue.
Get out of here. Stop it. Stop. No, I'm going to lock the door. Close the door. Get out. I apologize for that. I'm trying to remain professional here.
You're okay.
But
I'm not walking.
Professional.
Oh my god.
Stop looking at the Crooked Man. Go.
What?
You said professional. I'm going kind of like in a freeze frame back and forth. My movements are slow. But this is professional.
Okay.
Right,
the door's locked.
So
no more 6-year-olds, almost 7-year-olds coming in and flicking their tongue at. What was he even doing?
I don't know. You just said wave, and he just said he's possessed. With the holy water. Take your beer, pour it on him.
He's trying to make funny faces. Oh shit.
So speaking of funny faces, Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power Season 2 trailer dropped. I haven't seen Season 1, but Season 2 does look like it's going to be a real good... Actually looks like it's going to be really good. That's my interest. Because now everybody has the rings.
Okay.
The rings are there. Sauron is coming for everybody. He mentions the 9 in the trailer. So I don't know if he's like, hey, I want the kings that I gave the rings to. So now it's a big race for a big battle. And I'm going to hand it off to you, Glenn, because I've never read Lord of the Rings. I've only watched the movies. So what is your input?
My take was the Rings of Power Season 1 blue. That
oh my god!
They never should have give you guys money.
Oh wow,
dude! No, I can't believe they approved it for Season 2 though. And Firefly can't get a second season. What the hell?
Wow.
It's
too soon. Too soon for Firefly.
Too soon. No, too soon. Not soon enough. There should be no reason why. No reason why Rings of Power got a second season. It was absolute garbage. That like somebody, yeah, I'm sure somebody likes it. People who like stuff that's not Lord of the Rings, I guess. I mean, it's they basically they raped Tolkien's story is what they did. They took his notes and they were like, you know what? Let's just kind of figure it out, and just fucked it up, man. Like it sucked. The fact that it got season 2, I mean, maybe they already spent the money, and it was too little too late at this point, I guess. Maybe it was in their contract. They're like, even if season 1 bombs, we can have a season 2. And it's like, oh, okay, well, oh well. That's a loss. But I don't foresee it being advertised heavily because I sure as hell haven't seen a damn thing about it. And I consider myself quite in tune with media culture.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, ask a different guy. Ask Nico. Maybe he likes it.
Well, if Nico,
that'll be our first question next time.
Yeah, if Nico Hunter are true to their loyalty to Nerdverse Odyssey, they'll answer these questions on Thursday because they watch our podcast along with the 12 bots and Jason, who also watches from Pinay Collectibles. Give me a free bot.
Oddly enough. So I went on a stream for our dear friend Slimedime, who was in a couple episodes ago, and got a chance to drop a pin for the podcast. So, hey, all you people are here from the stream. This is what I look like, and that's what that guy looks like. So, or are you that way? You're this way, right?
Yeah, on my screen, yeah, you're that way.
This way?
Yeah, I'm
this way.
Yeah, you're this way, and I'm this way.
So I'm pointing to you now.
No.
Pointing to you now.
Yes.
This guy. So.
Oh, this is very, very professional podcast we have. Very professional.
So, Rico, what are your thoughts about? No, I'm just kidding.
Slime? Oh, God, I love it.
So, Rico, let's see. The Deadpool movie. No, we're not touching on that. We're talking about that on Thursday. But or did we already talk about that? I think we already talked about that.
Well, the Deadpool Wolverine, we'll leave it for Thursday on that one. The only other trailers that came out was, and I'll kind of go through them real quick, would be the Penguin. Again, that's supposed to be Batman 2.5. It's supposed to be taking a couple of days or at least a year after Batman. It's going to be on Amazon. It's going to be a show, and that's supposed to link between
Robert Pattinson Batman.
Yes.
Ooh.
So Colin Farrell is coming back as the Penguin. Essentially, he's trying to move up the ranks of the mafia they have since Falcone was killed. And basically him trying to gain control and then go against I think it's Falcone's daughter that comes out of Belle Reve or something. So basically, it seems like it's gonna be like more of like a gang, mafia gangland kind of movie where it's gonna be just powers trying to be seized. People are gonna be double crossed. People are gonna die. And we'll see if Batman.
I mean, it's Batman, so yeah. That's kind of what I mean. Batman is like the Pulp Fiction of the DC universe. They maintain that Pulp Fiction sort of feel.
Yeah.
And that the characters themselves aren't typically high powered, and if they're high powered, they're a real threat. And the most evil that you can probably get is large groups of people doing bad things for the wrong reasons. So that's Batman. I mean, that's always good story there because of the fact that a lot of Batman stories are completely and totally relatable because of the fact that you're able to experience that sort of evil in the world as we know it today. And so, whereas Superman, it's like, aliens from space are attacking again. Okay. It's one of those things.
Well, that's a testimony, I think, to the new Batman series with Robert Pattinson is that it's back to the roots of being gritty. Like, it's not beautiful.
Yeah.
It's not dark. It's questionable. It's questionable. The environment is questionable. Batman's actions are questionable.
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
see it as only a couple of people who are innocent, or at least a couple of them that include Batman, that ride that gray line, or that line of, what's truth, what's legal, what's in the gray area, what you can do on that part. So definitely with the Penguin, it does have that gritty feel, and so now we're going to see more of the crime versus that one. I mean, I don't know if they're going to introduce any other characters, but it definitely has a gritty feel to it.
I wonder if they're ever gonna try to, like, I guess, louver in sort of the Joaquin Phoenix Joker universe into this.
No, this will
Like,
be
have
this
they?
would this is Elseworlds. So both of those are Elseworlds.
Um,
So
right.
James,
Okay.
and I was gonna go into it a little bit because James Gunn kind of
Yeah. Go for
reacted
it.
to Marvel stuff. But the short answer is James Gunn's universe and what he already laid out is what it is. Anything outside of that, like Zack Snyder's Justice League, all his movies, Robert Pattinson,
Mhm.
Joaquin Phoenix, all their movies, those are considered to be Elseworld, as far as that one. So they're not they're canon for us. It's in another universe, but not canon to his universe that he's starting up right now with it.
I see. Like, how would I? We didn't see Batman in the previous Joker movie, if I remember correctly.
No,
Uh, but man, I want the Joaquin Phoenix Joker universe to be like expanded to like a full DC universe in and of itself. It's just so good. I mean, like it strokes the bone, bro. Like, and with Lady Gaga as Harleen Quinzel, oh god, she's, from what I see in the trailers, dude. I'm gonna try to see that night one. Like,
I
I'm
think
not usually one to be like knocking down the door. I need to see this movie, but dude, I want to see that movie so
yeah.
bad.
Well, for the Joker, I have to see it. I haven't
Like,
really sat down and really look at it. I know the second one, they hinted that it's more of a musical. It might be on the
well,
part of being a musical. So then I'm like, I get it. It's just this is a different take on the Joker. I mean, I really feel that it's the kind of like with Christopher Nolan on the whole realism. If Joker existed in our world, this is how he would look. This is possibly the way he acts. Um,
yeah.
I'm just more of the way they changed the story with Harley Quinn. I'm like, and then when you toss in musicals, like there's only one or two that I like. I'm not really a musical guy. Forgive me for those who are listening.
I mean,
I'm sorry,
I
but
like musicals. I like musicals. I'm a huge fan of the opera fan, but you know,
mhm.
like that and what was that? Showgirls with what's her face in it? Um, Jennifer. Jennifer. It isn't Jennifer Hudson. Lord, I'm trying to remember now. It might be Jennifer Hudson. Actually, I'll look it up later. But no, I mean, like, I feel that the way that they've like shown the the musical portion of the, pardon me, I'm getting a knock on my door, and it's likely my wife.
There's a knock at the door.
So
I'm sorry.
no,
Suspense.
it's fine.
So suspenseful.
At least you're not beating on it. Thank you, my sweet. I love you. So we're just getting the whole guest in here, aren't we? We all thought it was going to be a podcast with just two guys.
Yeah.
Two
Two crazy guys.
Yeah. Two crazy guys. Hey, but no. The way that they've kind of, I guess, put in using music as a plot device to show the Joker's crazy and his feelings of love, which, I mean, in a lot of ways, people are like, love feels like music, or music feels like love. It makes sense to me that they would use it in that way. And I don't think that necessarily the entire thing's going to be a musical, because it doesn't appear so. It's just that is going to be sort of like the fugue state that he goes into whenever he's around her, that the music is a representation of his love. And so that's why, it kind of manifests it that way. Because, I mean, in a lot of ways, in the previous Joker movie, he he was always, I guess, looking for admiration, looking for, I guess, certification of his own self through comedy, right?
Mhm.
And so the fact that he was seeking to be a performer in the first place in the original Joker movie makes sense that he would go into the musical sort of feel to it, because he's still looking for that. What's the word I'm looking for? Um, that
Acceptance.
affirmation of
No.
self. No, the affirmation
Mhm.
of who he is and how he feels on the inside
Mhm.
as the center of attention, and somebody who is accepted and valued as for society. And how does society value someone? Is they make them famous. And
Right.
so there's a whole breakdown of that, and I assume that whenever that movie comes out, I'll probably touch on that more with a little bit of a breakdown.
Mhm.
If not, with the two of us, then maybe just solo. Who knows?
No,
So
I
that,
mean, I think it's
uh,
it's the same thing as
yeah,
before, where if it comes out, I more likely will wait until it comes out on Max and then watch it on that one. Unless I can get free
yeah,
tickets with my hookup. I'm not gonna say who it is, but you know, if they're listening, yes,
oh yeah.
I'll go if it's free
You got that
tickets.
sneaky link?
Yeah. Oh, no Diddy. I don't know what that means. You said sneaky link, and that could be anything now with what's going on. You talk about a link like hot dog link, like the glizzy. Oh my god, nah.
He dropped the no diddy.
So with the movie
It's
trailers again,
hilarious.
they again Borderlands is already out by this time frame. Captain America: A Brave New World is out. Kind of have my hopes up. It feels like it's going back to the Captain America Winter Soldier, which I think is one of the, as far as action, that one was hands
Yeah,
down was great, especially when he went against Bucky. Um, Especially
yeah.
when it was revealed. I already knew who the Winter Soldier was from the comic books, but when you see it on there,
Yeah.
he's like Bucky. Like I was like, oh yes. And now you're fighting your boy, and it's kind of he's like, you guys been fighting together. Now you're
Emotional
fighting against.
investment.
Yes, 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 yes. Which surprised me because my wife was like, she was like, hold on, Harrison Ford is the Red Hulk, and I actually got into a little nerd talk with her, and I was like, well,
Why
look,
not? I mean, it fits the story.
yeah, if
I think
it,
he's a great pick.
I mean, far as that, the main thing I told her was like, he's just filling a role because the actor and forgive me, I can't remember his name, was Thunderbolt Ross. He passed away in real life, and therefore they were trying to see who can do it. Harrison Ford decided just to, hey, I want to be a part of this, and here I go, and that's how it's going to be.
Well, I mean, he portrayed the general in previous movies beforehand, and in the storyline, or I should say, the uh, in the Marvel comics. I mean, that general is, I forget his name, but that
Thunderbolt
general is,
Ross,
huh?
Thunderbolt
What?
Ross, Thunderbolt
Yeah,
Ross.
General Ross. Thank you.
Yes,
Yes, General Ross in the comics is Red Hulk,
yeah.
and he's played General Ross beforehand, so it makes perfect sense that he's Red Hulk.
Hold on, when did Harrison Ford
I
play
see
Ross?
nothing. Hold on, let me take a look.
Yeah. Oh,
General Ross.
you talk about my dude, my scruffy nerf herder.
Yeah. In let's see.
Now Harrison Ford did play
He
a president. I
was
think it was in
in the
what?
Thunderbolts.
Oh, you talk about the other movie. Yeah, okay, yeah.
Oh wait, no, sorry, no. No, it was Brave New World. Just this one, huh?
Hmm.
Okay, yeah, because it was William Hurt previously who
That's the
was
guy.
General
Yes.
Ross. Ah, Sam Elliott was Hulk. What?
Well, that was the I think
What
that
was
was the
Sam?
he was the Ang Lee. He was Thunderbolt Ross, General Thunderbolt Ross in Ang Lee's version of Hulk on that one.
Man,
Which he played. Hey,
man,
he played a good. Sammy Elliott played a good Thunderbolt Ross. He even had the look somewhat of how he looks in the comics. And there's nothing against William Hurt or even Harrison
yeah.
Ford. It's just he had that cool. Sam Elliott just has a cool swagger. Is that still a word nowadays? But he's just the way he was,
I
and
mean,
I always liked him ever since Roadhouse, when he's like, "Hey, what's going on, mijo?" Like, he just has that Cowboys military kind of swagger to him with that one.
oh yeah, yeah. I mean, he's one of those guys that appears to, you know, not say very much, but whenever he says something, it means something. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah.
As opposed to some of us. But
So yeah, no secret. Red Hawk is going to be there. The leader is supposed to be in there too as well. I'm interested in how the MCU with and we can talk about that a little bit more later. But I'm interested on how this is going to fall into the storyline, especially with the whole multiverse and with Kang no longer being the main villain, as far as the Kang Dynasty and stuff like that. Let's see. Transformers
yep,
1 trailer came out. Um, which looked interesting. I think I'll probably take my kids to go see that one, or at least my little one to go see that one.
okay.
Because it's
Is it like a
anime.
reboot?
So this one is an anime and it takes place on Cybertron. So this is supposed to be before Optimus Prime and Optimus Prime and
Megatron?
Megatron. Yes, god dang.
Are you even a fan?
Oh my god.
Ah,
I don't know why. I was thinking Megamind
he's
probably. But
Megatron. He's a gun. Come
yes,
on.
which is amazing that in this one it's before. So it's before they battled. Basically, they grew up on Megatron. They grew up on Cybertron. They meet an old time Transformer because they can't even transform in the trailer. They get the abilities, and basically they have two visions on how Cybertron should be led or whatever. And so basically it's them. It shows them being friends and then becoming enemies against each other. And Megatron is actually the gun, even though he has the gun carrying on his hand, but it looks like he changes it to a tank still, and not the actual
Okay.
a gun that he changed to. But it looks good, at least for anime, and I like that stuff. It has some quirky jokes and stuff like that. I think
Of course.
most of the Transformers you've seen before in the anime, and I think in the movies, are being there. So again, Shockwave, one of my favorite ones, even though he's a bad guy, he's in it with all his gadgets and stuff like that. The one trailer
I was
that
a big Beast Bots fan myself, actually.
I think Beastbots came
You're like,
after. Well, because I don't. I think we have some years
yeah,
between
yes,
us.
Beast Bots came after Transformers, definitely. 100%.
I think I was more of a Dino fan on that one because the Dinobots came out and they had the whole line of that one. But I think Beastbots came after that one.
No. It was Beast Bots, then Dinobots.
Is it Beastbots? Oh, okay, okay.
Hold on.
Well, look, all we could afford was the low budget Transformers. They were called GoBots. Does anybody remember GoBots? I
Let's
don't know.
see. I remember GoBots.
Hey, you're old. No, joking.
I am old. I'm 39 years old, bro.
That's not old, man. I'm in my prime.
Okay, sorry, they're not Beast Bots. Beast Bots is in the Power Ranger thing. That's the Maximals and the Predcons.
Okay.
So, never mind. Anyways,
Hey, we're human, okay?
yeah, it's
So,
fine. You were talking about Borderlands and kind of glossed over that. You and everybody else, by the sound of it.
well, I was gonna give it to you, but the last, I guess, for the trailers, I'll run through these real quick, and then I'm gonna hand it off to you for Borderlands to get your point of view. Is the Day of the Jackal is a series that's coming out that is based on the book. I believe it's called the same thing. The Day of the Jackal has my interest because Jackal is another classic of movie of mine that I love. Has Bruce Willis, Richard Gere, Sidney Poitier, a bunch of other
Jack
names.
Black, who gets his arm blasted off.
Yeah. Oh, dude, when his character got killed, I wasn't rooting for the bad guy, but I was like, dude, you deserve it. Like, come on, dude. Like, because you notice he didn't kill the lady that made his fake ID. And she was pregnant, whatever. I mean, he was ruthless. He showed you who he killed, even women and whatever. But that one, he let her go. Like, she did the job, said, hey, here you go, blah, blah. Didn't charge her more, nothing else. I think he even gave her extra money for the fact that she was pregnant and because you mentioned how it was kind of hard with the new technology to do it.
she wasn't trying to fuck him over. That was
Yeah.
the point of that. Like everybody else that he was working with was trying to fuck him over.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
So
and weren't acting professional. She was professional. She did her part, and well, she didn't get her arm blown off.
yeah, I still think one of my favorite
So
scenes is
yeah,
when Richard Gere, they release him from prison. He shaves. He looks in a drawer. He just happens to open a drawer to look for, I don't know, his band-aids or whatever. Sees the gun, and before he can do anything, Sidney Poitier is at the door frame. He's like, "Show me your hands." And Richard Gere looks. His character looks like he wouldn't shoot him, but I'm like, man, Sidney Poitier, the way he looks, as soon as he did something stupid, he was going to shoot him and say, damn it, hell be damned, we'll find the jackal, but I'm going to kill you because you ain't going to, risk my job on that one. But bless you. All right. So
thank you. I appreciate that.
So we'll move real quick to the trailers. Not gonna really talk about them too much. Star Trek Section 31 is a new movie that shows a bunch of characters moving into together for its casino. Michelle Yao.
Is she playing a Ferengi?
She's playing some type of. The way the trailer looks is like she's a queen or part of an empire that she took the throne, I guess, by force. Didn't want to, and so when you meet her, she seems like she runs a gambling casino on some planet, and basically Section 31
Okay.
looks. It sounds like it's like Black Ops, like all these different people are part of it, and I know faces more than names, so if you do look at the trailer, you'll be like, oh, that person plays in this, and this person plays in this. I think one guy, there's a show called Power, and there's a guy named Ghost.
Yeah.
He's in it.
Okay.
He'll play Ghost. There's another guy who played in this werewolf movie with the AT&T lady. If you've ever seen it, it's an advertisement. You know what I'm talking about? The AT&T lady. She plays a
Oh
werewolf.
yes, I know her quite well.
So
That was, oh God, I remember that film. That was like the only film that she had been in apart from the commercials.
yeah,
But
actually,
she got famous off the AT&T commercials whenever they tried to basically, downplay her power levels, her massive round power levels.
I'm not. Okay.
Golly, I'm just gonna say, like, she looks like a young Dolly Parton. Like, props to you, girl. You rock that shit. Hell yeah.
If I find it, I'll post it in Discord. But
She got big boobs.
so the guy. So not her, not the character Glenn is very a big fan of, but the guy who plays the Ranger, he is
Big
actually
fan.
in the movie too as well.
Big fan.
But basically, it sounds like it's like some type of some type of wet work black ops teams that's teaming up with Michelle Yeoh. A lot of distrust, whatever, for a mission that is in Star Trek. I don't know too much of it if it's something that's brand new or this is something that Gene Roddenberry had off to the side and say, "Hey, here's an idea for this."
I mean, seeing as Gene Roddenberry has unfortunately left us, I dare say this might be something inspired by his work, not necessarily something that he did, unless they're tapping into the Star Trek books. But I mean, I don't know.
So far as video
is
games,
Gene
that were
Roddenberry still?
all right. So as Glenn looks that up, video games wise, Like a Dragon, Yakuza dropped. Not a video game, but anime. Creature Commandos trailer came out. It's coming out in December of 2025. So this is, I believe, this is the first movie that is part of James Gunn's universe. Blue Beetle is still part of it, but I'm not too sure if Blue Beetle was when James Gunn took over on that part. Batman Cape Crusader Season 1 is out on Prime. I already saw the first 2 episodes. They took Batman animated series, it seems, and put it into 1930s era, and they changed a couple of things. So Penguin is actually a woman now. She's like a crooner. Watch the episode, and then let me know what you think, because I already have my reservations, not because I feel like if God damn, I'll cause my own rant on this one. I'll put it this way: I don't have an issue of switching characters. If you want to make it a different telling of Penguin being a woman, it's fine with me. I think,
Martha Wayne as the Joker was great.
yeah. My thing is the way they presented her. She's like she's Penguin by name, but in a little bit far as face, because the nose and everything. But she's has to be. If Batman's 6'2", let's say 6'3", she's right there with the same height. Like she's a big crooner that everybody, I guess, is some of the guys are infatuated with.
She's
whatever.
an Emperor Penguin.
Yeah. I thought the way they were going to do it was, and I'm pulling a reference out of nowhere, would be if anybody remembers the movie Goonies, you had the mom that was bad. Like if you drew her kind of like that, then I'm like, okay, so it can almost be like a one-for-one, almost a one-for-one version of a female penguin, where it's still short, has that rough voice versus how they have it in this series. That's
where she's like a evil matriarch of some sort.
Yeah, like she runs the ice. I think it's called the Iceberg, which is a ship off to the side. Nobody knows that in the back shadows or whatever that she's a criminal organization, whatever. She has two sons that are just dummies. And so where Batman falls into, like, certain places, certain crime organizations are blowing up, and he doesn't know why. And so he's trying to figure it out on what's going on with everything. And so he meets the Penguin character as Bruce Wayne, and then eventually as battling against her, which again she went toe to toe with Batman in certain parts because again the way they did the statue. So again that's my only again it's so far.
I'll have to watch it. And I'll have to get back to you about it on Thursday then.
Yeah, all the episodes I believe are out on the season. I think episode 2 introduces Clayface, which is a kind of cool take on him. So episode 3, it seems like with every episode you're going to have some type of building with it, which is also going to have some controversy with it. So if anybody doesn't know, Batman did use guns in his early iteration.
Yes.
So
yes, he did.
Yeah, so somehow that's going to be incorporated in the show. And so that was nothing that
that's early Batman.
Yeah. So I think somebody was like, Batman never uses guns. He's like, yeah, he did. He used it before. This is before, anybody's time that, at least those who read it, at least in a part of our podcast, is before our time.
Read it.
Who read it on that one?
We read it, the comics books.
Yes. Read a comic book. Who taught you how to read? People look at you funny like that.
I know it.
Moving on with Mortal Kombat 1, Chaos Reigns, if you're into fighting games. DLC characters actually has I guess his name is Ghost, the villain in Scream movies. He's a playable character. They brought back Rain, Sector, Cyrax.
Ghostface.
Okay, so his name is Ghostface. I thought it was just Ghost. I put Scream Ghost. Conan the Barbarian, the one with Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's going to be in Mortal Kombat as a playable character. T-1000. They're bringing that into
Hold 2 seconds.
Go ahead.
Whenever they did Conan the Barbarian and his voice in the game, this is a game, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Did they use his Americanized voice in Conan, or did they use Arnold's voice in Conan?
They may have used. I'm assuming unless they do some type of AI voiceover, they probably use Americanized voice because it didn't state that Arnold Schwarzenegger voiced Conan for the game.
I was it? Oh no, it was Hercules. I apologize. Okay, so back in the day, whenever Arnold first burst onto the scene, whenever they did his voice acting, there's a voice actor for him in the Hercules movie, not in the Conan the Barbarian movie. I apologize. It was like where he was talking, and instead of being like, "Yes, Father, I have come to take the seat of the gods," it was more like, "Hello, Father, I am here to take the seat of the gods. Please help me with my fight against Hades." And it was like this voiceover that was just horribly bad. But I'm sorry. So Conan, I think he used his own voice on that one.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
but I mean,
okay,
that's great.
that
I mean, that
question
is a great
is moot now.
Yeah, but that's a great question because again, the significance of that is because in the T1000, Robert Patrick, who played T1000 in the movies, as well as the father of
Uh,
the Peacemaker, he's coming back to voice the T1000.
ooh,
So the fact that they got
nice.
him, I don't know.
That's
Again,
super cool.
again with Conan, I'm hoping that he used some of the voiceover for what Arnold Schwarzenegger had for the movie on that one. Other
Yeah.
than that, they had a Marvel drone show. So if you went to the Comic Con for San Diego, you saw that as it did some cheesers. And with that, I'm gonna hand it off before we go into more of the Hall H stuff. I'm gonna hand it off to Glenn to give his take on Borderlands because I saw the trailer. I know who the cast are. And truthfully, I wasn't feeling it as a guy who's played Borderlands 1 through, I think, twice at least, and Borderlands 2.
Yeah. So, okay, my take on it
Mm-hmm.
is all right. So, casting wise, they absolutely did an absolute garbage job. Like, Borderlands is supposed to have like these female characters who are like absolute sex pots, and Roland, who's supposed to be this statuesque sort of big guy, and let's not forget that the two characters that didn't show up in the game,
Mm-hmm.
um, uh, freaking is it Tank? Tank was one of them, and the bird guy.
So
He's
that's my
oh
real
my
quick. So
god,
that was my question. I thought Kevin Hart was playing Tank, and in
no,
The
Kevin
Raven guy,
Hart
I
is
know you're talking
playing
about.
Roland.
Oh, okay.
Borderlands
So who was in the first one? Roland
video
or I can't
game.
remember. Was it Roland or Tank? Because weren't they both
Hold on,
soldiers?
no, it's so all right. So, and oh my god,
This is exciting
PC
stuff, folks. You're hearing it first.
playable
Glenn is
characters.
typing.
Here we are.
Glenn is typing really fast.
Mordecai, thank you. Okay, so it was Mordecai, Roland, Lilith, and Brick, not Tank. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
So Brick and Mordecai don't show up in the movie as far as the trailer goes. Roland, who's supposed to be the tall guy who's really, really, great about the soldier type. He is played by the unstatuesque Kevin Hart, who it's just emasculating, like how they portrayed Roland in this movie.
Right.
Not to mention, Lilith and Mad Moxie, like all of them are like just old,
Ooh,
like
ageism here.
they
Oh my
they
god.
used to they used to be hot back in the day,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean, Kate Blanchett, horrible pick for Lilith. And Mad Moxie is like some actress that had a love scene with Tom Cruise whenever he did Cocktail. Like it was like they went and took the actors that weren't actually doing anything at the particular time. Now, mind you, Kate Blanchett inside of Thor Ragnarok, fucking perfect, great, excellent casting for that. Kate Blanchett as Lilith, who's supposed to be this taut you know uh, siren who is intended to be as beautiful as she is deadly. It's just like Kate Blanchett, she ain't it, bro. Like this is just bad casting, and
Mm-hmm.
it appears to have shown in the numbers for the opening day, as they spent $120 million on this movie with all the special effects to airbrush everybody
Mm-hmm.
in, uh, and and then they made $4 million on opening day. Four, that's it, and it's like usually big movies like this, especially video game movies with huge followings,
Mm-hmm.
make back at least half. I'm thinking that a lot of people are going to probably watch this streaming, maybe hate watch it a little bit, and then promptly never watch it ever again. Relegated to the depths of the abyss, much like the first Doom movie with The Rock in it.
Yeah.
It's
And our favorite,
and the fact that
Carl Urban.
and Carl Urban, yes, Carl Urban, yeah, which Carl Urban did rather well in that movie, but I don't know, like it was.
Yeah, it wasn't gonna save it. It was, and I think even with Borderlands, when you mention it again, some of the cast that they had. I think Jack Black at least Claptrap. As far as the trailer looks,
That fits.
that fits.
Yeah,
Who is it? Not Tiny Tina or the young girl that's playing
yeah,
Tina. I know she was the one that likes everything go boom.
yeah,
So unfortunately, I know she was not gonna have the same voice as her. That was the only kind of disappointment. Where I'm like, wish they would have got the voice right. But yeah, everything as far as the casting, I agree with you. It's a name grab, and it doesn't help too that it got
yeah,
released right after. I don't. Was it a week? Maybe a week after Deadpool and Wolverine came out. So it was like,
yeah,
who thought that was a great idea on that one? Like, hey, we're gonna throw this in there and we're gonna take a chance. Nah. Because even I watched it the
and
week after it came out, and it was still the place at the Alamo Draft House. That junk was packed. That's a week
yeah,
after. That's crazy.
yeah, 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 totally, and yeah, I mean, yeah, you can't compare the two, not at all.
Yeah.
And not to mention the fact that when the trailer first came out, like everybody was like super excited. They're like, "Fuck yeah, Borderlands movie! That's a great storyline." And then they're like, "It's like somebody farted in their dinner, man." Like it was like the reaction as a whole was like, "This should never have been made." It is being said by some people like Outside Extra, who are pop culture podcasts, much like ours, not nearly as we're not as nearly high budget as them, but they're like Borderlands might be the worst video game movie of all time, and it's like, you know what, dudes, I agree with you wholeheartedly. like
over Double Dragon.
Yeah. Double Dragon. At least, I mean, like, okay, hold up. Double Dragon, as good as a show it was, the movie added a storyline where there was none. Right? Double Dragon, you're a dude walking down the street going, yeah, like,
right.
And so yeah, they're brothers, cool, right? And that's basically all the story they had to go off with. But Borderlands has such a rich storytelling background with their games, with complex quests that had spectacular voice acting, timed events. It was just so well made, story wise. But they're going to come in and be like, we're going to turn this into a
franchise,
sort of a half-assed franchise that we promised we were going to make this movie and just shit all over your male fantasies.
Yeah, at least Glenn, because I'm invested. This is crazy.
Yeah. Now, Jamie Lee Curtis as Tannen 20 years ago. In fact, actually, I might say that for a lot of the actresses that they picked in this movie, and just throw the whole Kevin Hart out. Lord, there's like 50 actors I can probably name in the next hour that would be able to play a better role than Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart is a walking fucking joke for this casting. It is just so bad.
Well, that's what somebody mentioned. I don't know if it was my son. I was talking to somebody, and they're like, man, they couldn't get Terry Crews, and I'm like, yeah, Terry Crews has a statue.
Fucking Terry Crews would be great as Roland. Fuck, give me Terry Crews any day of the week as Roland.
Okay, so with that one, I would say at the very least they probably could have got Terry Crews. Now Terry Crews just got done, or at least the trailer came out. He has a new movie far as Baptista, I think it's called The Retirement or something, where Terry
Yeah,
Crews is part of a hitman. So there could have been a scheduling conflict with that. I mean, at the very least, it could have got Terry Crews. But I'm like, I feel the same thing where it's like,
I dare say
you have a plethora, if that's a word, of
plethora.
yeah, you have all
Blah.
these, you have a very, you have, uh, you have various actors out there that you could have cast for this. And again, if you're looking at it to make it into a again like a franchise, like you're trying to look into making it 3 movies, why not go a little bit younger, or at least those roles that you can that again if they're up there in I'm not if they're in the age of 30 whatever, but they can still look like they can pull it off. Like in a way, you can find yourself a
Yeah,
different Paul Rudd, where it's yeah, we know his age is here, but we know that he looks and he could play this role here, still in that part. And I think yeah, I agree. They probably could have
yeah.
picked a whole lot of people, but I mean, I'll still
I feel that it would have been better not to make it than, basically stick to the guns and make it. Especially like the internet came back and was like, what the fuck's going on with Sonic? And they were able to fix it. But
right.
I guess because of the fact that it involves people that, it's
So
too
I
little
mean,
too late to change the look.
and even with that, I think with Sonic, the difference somebody can argue is that okay, clearly the teeth thing was weird, and it was they still had time in post production, and again they also had the decision of going, we really need to fix this because if these guys or the fans out there if they don't like this movie, it's gonna tank us on that one. And again, my kids,
Yeah.
I love it. My kids love it. We saw Sonic 2. We loved it again. Jim Carrey was, again, that's a great casting as
Perfect.
far as Dr. Robotnik, and even show his transformation
Yeah.
going from Sonic 1 to Sonic 2, which I would imagine, not to say he'll pack on pounds, but he might still have that skinny bulk look by the time Sonic 3 comes out when they have Shadow.
Yeah. 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 Sonic was a masterclass in listening to your fans. But Borderlands, when the trailer came out, everybody was like, "Fuck no! Stop it! You're killing it!" and and they didn't listen. They were like, "You know what? Screw you
No.
guys! You're ruining it with your expectations." That's like
Well, that's
fuck
it.
off, I guess.
And
Anyways,
I hate. I guess I'll end this on this one where it's like, or at least for us Borderlands, where it's like, that's what I hate. You have fans that clearly are saying, and fans that are no matter what side they're on something, they're saying the same thing. Like, look, this doesn't seem right. This doesn't look right. Like, what are you doing? And you're still trying to shove it in our face and say, no, give us a chance and watch it. And we're like, no, we do not want to watch this. This is not past the sniff test. And then you get mad
and
that
that's
we
$4 million.
yeah, and then you get mad when you don't make enough money on the back end, and then I'm guaranteeing there's going to be somebody out there that's going to do a review, and they're going to be like, this movie, it's not perfect. It's a 8 or 9 out of 10, and you fans who don't support it, they're going to toss out.
Eight?
I'm guaranteeing you, somebody's
You're
going to
being
review it.
generous.
Somebody's going to review it. Either I'm gonna call it IGN, but it's gonna be somebody. They're gonna say some things, and then they're gonna claim that if you don't like this movie, you're ageist. You're ageist, whatever you call it, ageism, because the woman roles are, as far as real life, their age and how they look in the movie. You don't like Kevin Hart, therefore you're a racist, or you just don't like the actors as far as then you're gatekeeping these video game properties, whatever is not made for you. The same thing I'm gonna say before. If you sound off like that, you have nobody to blame to yourself. When we or those fans who again have legitimate complaints, do not watch these shows or movies. Simple as that.
Yeah. Yeah. Fuck. People say give us bread and circus. Give them fucking bread and
Yeah.
circus, man.
And if we're wrong when it comes out on media, when it comes out on streaming, when it comes out on DVD, maybe it'll be just like some of the films that are like 20 or 30 years old where they didn't do so hot in the movies, but they become an instant classic as far as DVD and now with streaming, that it changes. But I don't see it.
I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing that happening. Not with this one. Yeah, it's dumb. So hey, you want to get back to the whole thing that we're doing this part 2 about?
Comic-Con. All right. So going back to that one,
Yeah.
Borderlands was part of
Give the
Comic-Con.
people what they want. Give
In
the
my
people
defense, I
what
just
they
said, "Hey,
want. They came
Borderlands
here for
trailer." But
Comic Con Part
Glenn was
2.
like, "No." So with Hall H, everybody knows what Hall H is. Is when primarily is used for when Marvel releases their stuff. So again, the only thing they announced was Captain America: A Brave World. They showed the cast. Everybody said their piece about it. Harrison Ford showed up. Giancarlo Esposito showed up. He's going to be Sidewinder. Kind of excited to see how he goes because again, the Sidewinder is the king of the Serpent Society. So that was actually it's a old Captain American villain, and basically he makes his own, in my opinion, his own Legion of Doom of all villains that have some type of serpent power or costume or something. Yeah. So
Like a
basically,
sinister group of 7.
well, I mean, in the comic book, it's more than that, and so basically, what they were doing is just they're kind of like a behind the scene guns for hire group. So basically, in one story, they had to go get I think it was a crown of something that's I think somebody needed. I forgot what it was, but basically they were going around and trying to get it, and as well as Captain America tried to stop them, they were basically just moving pieces. So Giancarlo Esposito was just moving, basically being a tactician, to where they lost most of the people they had, but he still got the objective done and got it delivered on that part. So basically, he's like, if you need a job done and you're a villain, but this is like menial work, like you don't have time for this, you hire them to take care of whatever objective you need to do, object, take somebody out, and then you can still focus on your main thing. And so with Giancarlo, is just going to see how well it does if he's the one that is either hired by the leader or he's working for somebody else, possibly Doom, to further some agenda. Because again, the leader, again, that's my own opinion. Because again, the leader is part of this storyline, and the leader, he was in the background to create the Red Hulk and has some type of hand in the other Hulks that came about.
You said Doom? How does Doom have like snake-like powers?
No. Possibly Doom is
Oh,
hiring them to do
oh, okay,
something. Possibly.
okay, that makes sense. I was like, I mean, sure, he's kind of sneaky and snaky, but yeah, I wouldn't say he's snake-based.
He's a sneaky snake. So after that, they
That
introduced
snaky
Thunderbolt.
snake.
Yeah, I'm a snake. Pause. So Thunderbolts, they introduced the cast. So for those who don't know, Thunderbolt's gonna have Winter Soldier, Ghost, aka Eva, the new Black Widow is in it. Valentina, so you've seen her as what was it in this Falcon and Winter Soldier. U.S. Agent, he's back in it. Glenn's favorite character, played by David, and I forgot how to say his last name, but he's playing the Red Guardian. He's in it, as well as the Taskmaster is in it.
Fuck yeah, Taskmaster.
I don't know. I didn't agree with the Taskmaster as far as the Black Widow thing, but we'll see
I mean,
how
Taskmaster, I think, is a great villain because, I mean, like, he's just really good at
he's not a he. He's
matching
a she.
people.
She's a she.
Wait, what?
You never seen Black Widow?
They did a gender swap? No. The Taskmaster and Taskmaster.
Right, so
here, I got your.
Now that
In the comics, was a dude.
yeah, it was a dude, and he was the go-to person to train certain villains and everything. And when he went against everybody except for one person that he was always scared of, which was actually Moon Knight.
Yeah.
If I'm wrong, anybody could correct me, but Moon Knight was just out of there crazy. He didn't care. Like he'll stab himself if he needs to stab Taskmaster. But in the Black Widow movie, the person who was leading the Black Widow organization, after there was something happened, and his daughter thought to be killed, wasn't killed, and he basically grew her up, put a chip in her head, I believe, and she became the MCU's version of the Taskmaster, but not somebody to train anybody, but just to carry out missions or whatever. And because she can match, based on that chip or something, she can match whatever fighting skills or fighting styles you have, or who she's going against.
Huh. So it's not a superpower; it's an enhancement now.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
And so how it's going to play in the Thunderbolts, she's just a second. It seems like the way they took the Taskmaster, he's not on a main villain level like he would be. I'm not saying he's on a A-list, at least a B.
She
At least
is
a
not a
B-list.
main villain level.
So they made him down. They made the character down to probably maybe a C or D list, depending on how they do the mission. So the Thunderbolts is, I'm not saying they're like the Suicide Squad, but basically they're the, basically bad guys. We want you to do these missions, and maybe you'll get freedom or something knocked off your sentence on that one. I don't think
So
they have.
Suicide Squad.
Well, I don't think Ross put any type of bombs in her head like he did, as Amanda Waller did with Suicide Squad. But
Yeah.
pretty much. But then again, Marvel and DC, I feel like they copy each other throughout the time. It's just who gets to the finish line first to compare.
It's like a Deadpool being a copy of Slade.
Yeah.
Of Deathstroke, yes. Yeah, totally.
So here's an interesting.
But what about the controversy behind Comic-Con? There's controversy. What is it?
So I would say one controversy will be kind of small is they're bringing Thanos back. So Josh Brolin is supposed to be in talks right now to bring Thanos, possibly King Thanos in Avengers Secret War. So a lot of people are upset about that because Thanos again died, spoiler alert, in Avengers Endgame. Now in the comic book, King Thanos was a bad dude. He had Hulk as a pet. He had Ghost Rider as his right-hand man. Like, he demolished everybody. Mm-hmm. But people are upset that they're bringing Thanos back, possibly, with the Avengers.
Well, no. I'm not talking about, like, controversial releases. Wasn't there, like, some arrests or something like that that you were talking about last week?
Yeah, I thought we talked about that before. The arrest you're talking about is the rest were basically the San Diego police, along with the FBI, Homeland Security, your mom, the kitchen sink. Everybody was involved, and basically did a sting operation where they posed as sex workers, and also as I'm gonna say John or James, to buy services for this one. So they were able to arrest 14 people who were try to solicit services from these people.
Sexual favors. Yeah.
So, I don't know what we can.
Right,
yeah.
But wasn't there something you were going to follow up with this week with regards to that?
No. That was just it. It's just they rescued 10
That's
people.
it. Okay.
They rescued 10 sexual workers. They arrested 14. And the warning is just like, hey, if you go to a Comic-Con, I'm going to say right now, all Comic-Cons, be careful if people are trying to solicit stuff to you, or if you're a person who wants to do that stuff, be careful because you're probably going to get arrested.
Or just don't do it. It's easy enough for that. Just don't be a scumbag.
Yeah. You're going to get caught.
Right. Okay.
You're going to be on that one.
Especially with the surveillance state that we have in now. I mean, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, just don't do it. It's easy. Like, everything's being tracked. Big Brother is watching.
Like even now with some of the, I know it's kind of going to segue into something, but just like when you commit crimes, the fact that most areas now have cameras, not on the level of Britain, but where they can tag you in the cameras and follow your steps, to include ring cameras and everything else. Even with that, with the signals,
you're carrying around a microphone and a camera that knows your GPS location at all times.
Even when you turn it off.
Even if you turn it off, like it's one of those things, man. I don't know.
I thought that was. I mean, for real, I thought that was exaggeration when you see in the movies when they take the whole phone apart. I'm like, okay, you're going too far. And then some scientist guy and some tech dude was like, no, if your phone is off, they can still ping off the towers. They can still turn, depending on the service, they could turn on your phone while you're not looking at stuff. I'm like, what?
Wireless energy has been around since Tesla, bro. Like,
oh, yeah.
There's an antenna. If there's an antenna, it can be powered. Like, all sorts of crazy crap. Anyways, they could put They can put microphones and a candle. Did you know a candle can be a microphone?
A camera could be a
If you
microphone.
have no a candle, like as in like a flame, a candle, wax candle, can be a microphone. If you take two wires and you place it in the wick, right?
Mm-hmm.
The modulation of the flame can as it's basically being spoken in, the modulations of that flame flickering from your voice talking at it can pick up stuff. My grandpa, I think, famously always used to like blow out candles anywhere he was at because of that fact. Like it's nutty, like some of the cool shit that they can do nowadays.
So essentially, like with the flame, is like if they're trying to pick up your conversation and they're outside of your building, all they have to do is point it to a window and get it all. And as far as the
Yeah.
frequency and stuff, that's how they.
What was it? And there was some scientific paper where they were saying like they could do visualization with like 5G or some bullshit like that. Like it's like, yeah, just don't be a scumbag. And yeah, that's the easy way to do it.
That's the
Just
that's the
just
title of
don't be a
of this part of the
scumbag.
podcast. Don't be a scumbag. Don't be a scumbag.
There you
So,
go. Anyways,
so moving on.
um,
I was gonna say moving on from that one. Kevin Feige wants to announce that he wants to do it. He wants to add a new option for anything that comes up on Disney Plus. Basically, if you see a movie, you can scroll through the movie and you'll be able to see the artwork that inspired it. It kind of sounds like how Prime Video. I don't know who else has a service where if you pause a movie and you click the arrow down, they'll actually have the actors that are in that scene to where they can
and
basically give
like
you
trivia
the
and stuff like that.
yeah, they can give you a picture and give you the IMDb, a quick summary of what movies they played in, how they got started, all that stuff.
Yeah,
They showcased the Fantastic Four trailer, the first steps with Pedro Pascal, Vanessa Kirby. Vanessa Kirby could have been in Borderlands, but again, depending on the settings.
yeah. Anybody but they with the cast in that.
Joseph Quinn could have been in it, but basically they show the cast that
Fuck
showed up on
anybody. Ron Perlman. Ron Perlman is Brick. Jesus, that would have been a great casting.
Yeah. Hell, speaking on that note, Robert Downey Jr. could have been in Borderlands, but ironically, he is cast as Doctor Doom in the new
Oh yeah.
Avengers: Secret Wars, and a lot of people are upset about this. Seems like those who never read a comic, and those who have read the comics, but they stay in their era. They don't go to the past, present, or even that stuff that's presented as far as the future on that one. Do you have anything to say on that?
Yeah. Personally, I think that them tapping into the alternate universe where Victor Von Doom switches bodies with Tony Stark is great. I think I'm okay with this. I'm perfectly okay with this because of the fact that there is already storyline in the material to support it. You know, so I mean, no problems here, bud.
That's what I feel. I mean, people. I think like again, just like with most anything that people have controversy at first is that they're only focusing on one thing. Forget that this is the multiverse, so you have different variants that you have.
Yeah.
So depending
They have established that in the Marvel movies that alternatives exist.
but they did again. They did. It seems like everybody's reacting quick and not taking the 5 minutes to say anything. That's why, like even with myself, if there's something I'm unfamiliar with, the first place I go to is either Google or I'll wait a day or two, and then there'll be YouTube videos out the yin yang of of everybody explaining everything. So I try to at least watch 2 to 3 videos to get different perspectives from different people that again they get paid do sponsorship or they get views to do the research more than I can do or what I have in storage or whatever. So yeah, I think if they
Like
can
for me, comic books explained
yes.
is a spectacular resource for that. Not a sponsorship, but definitely an endorsement. Highly suggest that.
Comic Books
That's
Explained,
another
Comics
YouTube
Historian,
channel. Yeah.
Angry Guy review.
Yep. Comic
Angry
historian.
Joe
Yeah.
was one, but then I'm not into the whole angry at everything every time. It's like dude, chill out. You know, it's just like some other channels that reviews. once you start doing the whole, I don't know, the identity kind of things like we talked about before, then it's like, okay, you're getting away from what we're talking about on that
It's a
part.
shtick.
Yeah.
It's a shtick. You know, it's one of those things.
Either
But
way,
yeah, fun
80
stuff.
million for the Russo brothers. Only reason why RDJ came back was the Russo brothers were brought back. He told Marvel supposedly he got paid more than what they paid the Russo brothers. Um, Supposedly it's between 750 mil and 1 bill if you believe that, or I don't know if that's just money, stock options, or royalties, whatever. Because the way he sounds like he gets his own security, he has his own trailer encampment. Um, for I
Damn.
guess him and his family and everything else. Again, this is what was told. I don't know if it's actually from the horse's mouth,
Hey,
whatever.
listen. If you do a good job, fuck, they'll give you everything. It's one of
Oh
those
yeah.
things. It's like, if you do your job well enough, people will pay you for it. And so, yeah, that's at least what I'm banking on, because I try to do a damn good job at whatever I do. So
So he
fingers
might,
crossed that's a truism in the universe.
yeah, he might show up in the Fantastic Four movie, but right now nobody knows. It'll
Oh, I
probably be a
guarantee it. At
cutscene.
least, yeah,
Well,
it might be one of the after credit scenes or something like that.
yeah, because the whole at least one opinion I saw was since the Fantastic Four is not part of our universe, it's from a different universe. That something happens and that deals with Galactus to where they get brought into our universe, which is now the 616, the Sacred Timeline. But Doctor
Yeah.
Doom possibly, again, if they don't do the whole mind swap, comes from their universe on that one. At least with, I think it was the infamous Doctor Doom, where they took it to where instead of Reed Richards being with Doctor Doom or Von Doom at the time, that it was actually Tony Stark, his roommate in college, with Von Doom, and Von Doom tricks him to build his machine, and they mind swipe on that one. But we'll see that one.
Yeah.
As far as Jonathan, of course, with controversy
Yep.
again, Jonathan Majors was asked about RDJ being cast, given a second chance. All he said was, "I love Kang. Doctor Doom is wicked, though. I think it's fair that Mr. Downey, is being and has been greeted with patience and curiosity and allure, and he's being allowed to work his art and be creative at that level. I didn't really get that. Of course, they asked if Marvel would ask for him to come back as Kang. He said yes, he would. He loves that character. There's more to explore on that one. Um,
Yeah.
so that's the only downside.
Did you
Like,
hear what?
go ahead.
What's his face? Oh, the King of Nerds played Superman. Uh, like, if I had to pick a guy, what's his face? The most recent Superman. Oh my
Henry
god,
Cavill.
dude!
Henry Cavill.
Yes, no, Cavill.
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 I heard it both ways.
Yes, Henry Cavill. Yeah, his. Did you hear what he said about his cameo in Deadpool? How whenever he's playing one of the Wolverines, like that cigar that he was smoking apparently had apparently like caused him throat irritation or something like that. It's
Yeah, but
like I look, they're squeaky clean, and it's like, come on, dude, like little cigar scene. Ugh. Anyways,
well, because they
you were on
said,
screen for like 5 seconds.
well, supposedly calling it Sean Levy, because Sean Levy and Ryan Reynolds talked about it. I know Sean Levy did answer it in an interview where essentially,
Yeah.
it sounded like instead of just puffing and releasing, it sounded like he was just inhaling the cigar smoke.
Yeah.
So I'm like, they said that the scene that they shot was, I think it was at least a day or two shoot on that one. But I'm like, you telling me the whole time you had the cigar in your mouth, you didn't once take it out, or you let it, you didn't suck it in, so you let it out. And if you suck it in, how come you just didn't blow it out? Neither here nor there. I mean, I cannot confirm or deny.
It's like
I've not smoked a cigar.
it's like
but
Bill Clinton back in the day whenever he got accused of smoking weed. He was like, I partook, but I did not inhale. Some bullshit like that. I don't know. I think I brought a Steve here. I think that's about it for me. What do you say, Rico? You want to leave for the rest for Thursday?
yeah, there's nothing much else. There's nothing much else on that. Before we'll cover DC as the last. Well, actually, you mind if we just do it Give me 10 minutes.
No, I
And
don't
we're
mind at
done
all.
with
Go ahead.
we're done
Yeah, I
with
got you.
Comic-Con.
I got 10 more minutes in me.
All right, so the last
No,
thing
just
would
kidding.
be, because come Thursday, I know there's going to be a couple things that we need to talk about, unless Nico supersedes us and he wants to talk about this Mr. Beast thing, because that's a whole nother thing. But of course, again, another
Yeah, he's
controversy.
suing everybody.
Oh, it's more than that. More stuff that came out. But the DC
Oh,
thing, the only
shit.
thing I wanted to add was they changed their logo. Basically, it's the 1976 logo they did. James Gunn revealed that the DC projects will not be a general tone, so thank God it's not going to be like a Zack Snyder where it's like all dark, all controversy.
I like it dark. I like controversy.
No, no. To a certain degree, I would agree, but not everything has to be dark on anything. I still believe Superman does not have to kill General Zod to understand the great significance of not taking a life. Nor do I have to listen to a man that tried to get it to where he wanted Batman to kill everybody or kill somebody to change the way the narrative or the lore is with Batman on that part. I mean, I think he even mentioned Batman's penis, which is weird, but I can't remember if he did or not. But James Gunn already said, hey, it's not going to be the same general tone. Everybody, just like the comments, it would basically shift from project to project, filmmaker to filmmaker. So that's great, as long as they're basically doing their own thing. Marvel did that, but the one thing with controversy is they let it get out of hand. And nothing against
Well, they
Watiki.
just kept picking losers, is what they did.
They just let them do what they're gonna do. Again, Thor Ragnarok didn't feel like a Thor movie. It was great comedic wise, but it was just like, nah.
What?
Was,
no, Thor. Oh, Thor Ragnarok was like the best Thor, dude.
My bad. Not Ragnarok. Forgive me. Love and Thunder. Love and Thunder was the one that.
Okay.
It was just thrown.
Okay, I understand. I understand Love and Thunder.
Calm down, Glenn.
Okay.
Calm down.
But I was like, don't you dare talk about Ragnarok. Ragnarok was a masterpiece.
I think there's the only reason why it's a masterpiece because Cate Blanchett was in it. That was your one deal. Like
Cate Blanchett was a perfect pick.
10 out of 10. What about the other stuff? It doesn't matter. Cate
10
Blanchett,
out of fucking 10. Yeah.
So the last thing he said was, we're coming into a world where superheroes exist and have for some time in one form or another. And that's the universe. We are telling a big, huge central story that is like Marvel Studios, except for I think that we're a lot more planned out than Marvel from the beginning, because we've gotten a group of writers together to work that story out completely, but we're also creating a universe that is like Star Wars, where there's different times, different places, different things, or like Game of Thrones, where characters are a little bit more morally complex. I get his point. Marvel has started it out. Again, there's a lot of things they threw. Iron Man with RDJ was roughly the first movie. Again, Blade came out before then, which gave everybody the motivation to make movies. But as far as the MCU, that was the make or break movie that if it did well, it was going to succeed. If it did bad, we probably wouldn't have seen no movies. But at the same time, I think, and I'm not saying he doesn't recognize it, but WB has shot itself in the foot when it came to these properties. So they have failed numerous times with these, both in the past and with the current. So to say that you have a well thought out plan, yeah, you have no choice. You guys have been messing it up for the longest. So
at least on the live action side. Animated side, fucking peak.
Oh yeah.
Animated DC outweighs animated Marvel, save for X-Men 97. For like 9 times out of 10. Like, I would take another Batman Beyond animated film over any DC live action film, save for Joker. Just to give some qualifiers there. Because like, oh God, can you imagine if they did like a live action Batman Beyond movie? God, that would be so fucking good.
Again, you're stating something that the fans have said, and they wanted Michael Keaton to be Bruce Wayne in that one. There was supposedly an anime movie that they kind of work on. DCWB said, again, before James Gunn got on board, said no, they nixed it. And it's like, again, the fans are craving for it. If you put it together correctly, you're going to get that love from fans. Like Deadpool Wolverine, we'll talk about Thursday, but again, in my notes, I was like, it's Even though people somebody, I think IGN complain about it, it's fan service. Yes, because the fans want to see this. They want some type of closure. They want to see the stuff, at least for our
That's how
age,
you
when we
make
watch
money.
them.
Fan fucking service, bro.
Yeah. If I have a business, if I have a food service business, and let's just say, for example, we're going, he likes fajitas. The area likes fajitas. I look at the numbers for the logistics of it. Everybody and their mom loves fajitas. Why the hell would I
Fuck
make
yeah,
beef stew?
fajitas.
It doesn't. Again, if I'm going into the restaurant business, I gotta know who I am. If I'm a writer, I gotta know who's my audience. Who am I writing to?
I
If that
don't
is
want
not the
no
case,
fucking hamburguesa. I want fajitas.
yeah, or whatever. Again, stick in your own favorite food or whatever. But again, if I'm catering to a certain audience, why would I deter from that? If you're gonna get more people down the road to join in, add a little bit of flavor to the recipe, but don't mess it up for those who are the core people. And with that,
It's like whenever I went over to this place called Porky's. Porky's is a little Mexican food restaurant, right, over here in San Antonio.
mm-hmm.
I went there and I ordered the barbacoa tacos, mini street tacos. My wife did half barbacoa, half al pastor, which is pork for those who don't understand Spanish food, or Mexican food, I should say. Not Spanish food. Spanish food is a whole nother ball of wax. I'm talking calle na cache. But no, I'm saying like the al pastor tacos over at Porky's. Guess what? That was the best damn thing on the menu. Guess what I'm ordering next time? Fucking Porky's pork, bro.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Everybody. I mean, again, everybody has their own preference, and I get that everybody wants to have something new. But I think when it comes back to the same thing, and I'll keep saying the same thing, if the recipe is what it is, and you want to bring in new filmmakers, new directors, new writers, whatever, you have to tell them, like, look, this is what the template is. This is what the Skeleton Foundation is.
It's called a fucking brand. It's not a template. It's a brand.
And if you're going to add something to it, you're going to add your flair. You got to make sure that at the end of the day, you are creating something not only for the fans, not only for something that you were watching, you would love, but what the fans are. Because you can make creative pieces all you want. If the fans don't like it, they're not going to go see it. And that's coming from somebody that, again, doesn't care about when you switch certain genders or whatever, or you change certain things. It doesn't matter to me.
Just as long as it fits the
Yes.
trope. It's got to fit the trope, fit the theme. Anyways, all right. I think that's about it for me then.
Yep. And on that note, this is a podcast. We're ending Nerdverse Odyssey Part 2, 26.2 with that. Everything going on. We'll hopefully see you guys on Thursday to talk about more entertainment that you guys like to laugh and cry about. So that's a podcast. Everybody drink water.
Of course. Yep. I'm super excited to see you guys Thursday. Y'all take care.
All right.
Gather round everyone, lights flash and hearts begun. Feels like a lucky night, stage is set, oh so bright. Crowd is buzzing, here we go, time to start the big show. Everyone grab a seat, get ready, feel the beat. Ladies and gentlemen, clap your hands, don't be sour. It's the Beard Bros, yes again, your host Glenn and Rico Sauer. Spin the wheel, roll the dice, every play feels so nice. Glenn's got charm, Rico's flair, together they're beyond compare. Questions and prizes so grand, Beard Bros got the game plan. Come on, shout it loud, Beard Bros make us so proud. Lights dim, spotlight bright, raise your hands, that's the sight. Energy electric, feel the power. Welcome to the coolest hour. gentlemen, here we go. Time to start the big show. Epic big show. Everyone grab a seat, get ready, feel the beat. Get ready. Ladies and gentlemen, clap your hands. Don't be sour, it's the Beard Bros. Yes, again, your hosts, Glenn and Rico's Hour. The host, Glenn and Rico's Hour. Spin the wheel, roll the dice. Every play feels so nice. Clumpy sour, it's the Beard Bros. Yes, again, your host, Glenn and Rico's Hour. Question again, your host, Glenn and Rico's Hour. Beo's Hour.